In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? The front cover of my magazine Intone uses conventions from magazines such as Q and Rolling Stone. My magazine uses the convention that Rolling Stone uses, which is positioning the cover lines all on one side. On Rolling Stone's front cover, they are positioned to the left, and on mine, they are positioned to the right. I did this because it creates a simple format for the audience to follow, and it creates more focus around the main image and anchored main cover lines. I've also used the convention of spreading the masthead across the top of the cover like Rolling Stone does, and my main image overlaps part of the masthead too. I specifically did this because my magazine is supposed to be iconic, and therefore the whole masthead doesn't need to be on show. The barcode is situated in the bottom right-hand corner and consists of the price, frequency, and website address. The barcode is known to change positions in different issues to suit the content of different covers. For the main image, I have used the convention of direct address, which is used by Rolling Stone. I feel this is effective in engaging the audience because the use of eye contact makes them feel involved. My main image develops conventions used by Q, as on Q's front cover, a range of images are used to make up the main image, but on mine, only one image is used. I did this because I feel it has a bigger impact on the audience. The use of the simplistic mise-en-scène can be found on Rolling Stone's front cover. I decided to use this convention by taking the shot as a medium close-up, with not too much scenery. I developed this convention by having the boy holding a guitar making use of the musical props. I did this because it immediately tells the audience that Intone is a music magazine. I used the convention of anchoring the main cover lines to the main image. Magazines such as Q demonstrate this. I feel that this is an effective technique to use because it indicates to the audience immediately that the main cover lines and the image are the central focus of this specific edition of the magazine. I challenged the convention of having a banner at the top of the cover by having it at the bottom. I did this because it means that more attention will be drawn to the masthead, which is a very important characteristic of my magazine, as I want it to be iconic and recognised. I used all sans serif font on the cover because I think that it would appeal to my audience more as it makes the cover line stand out and look bold. Even though magazines that I aspire mine to be like don't do this, I still feel that mine matches up to theirs. The house style of the magazine is yellow, black and white. I chose to use these colours because they work well with the main image and they aren't biased towards a particular gender. The house style carries on from the front cover to the contents page. I did this because I feel that if I didn't, it would cause confusion for the audience and it wouldn't seem like the same magazine to them. On my contents page, I used the convention of using columns to lay out the story titles and additional information. This convention creates a simple layout whereby the audience can navigate down the page easily. To add to the navigation, I also used the convention of subheads. Magazines such as Q and Rolling Stone and many other iconic magazines use this technique. Underneath the subheads are page numbers, story titles and additional information. This is a convention that almost every iconic magazine uses because it is more likely to get the audience to read the stories. The page numbers and titles of the stories are in sans serif font and so is the heading. The additional information is in serif font. I chose to do this because I think that sans serif font stands out more than serif font, and I think that the page numbers, story titles and the heading should be the main things to stand out to the reader. I included 3 images on my contents page, which is a convention that Rolling Stone and Q use. However, they may use more than 3 images on theirs. The images all use direct address, which again, like the front cover image, makes the audience feel involved and engages them into reading what the image is about. The mise-en-scène of all the images have a strong representation of the genre of music they are in. I placed a caption on every image which consisted of the page number, a title and a short sentence with additional information. This is useful in navigating the reader to the right page and is a typical convention used by Q. I used the convention that Q uses of having white space either side of the heading contents because I think it creates a simple formal layout. I used the convention of a footer and placed it at the bottom right-hand corner of the page. It consists of the page number, the name of my magazine and the website address. This is a useful convention used by Rolling Stone and Q, which navigates the audience through the magazine and also to the website. I challenged Q and Rolling Stone's convention of not having an editor's letter by having one. I feel that an editor's letter is another useful way to engage the audience because the fact that the editor is actually saying something may make the audience feel welcome. I chose not to have a subscription section because there was no space for it on the contents page, however it could be featured towards the back of the magazine. My double page spread continues the house style of yellow, black and white. I subtly included the yellow colour in minor features such as the drop cap and the arrows at the end of the body text. I challenged the first analysis I did of Q's magazine's conventions of the stand first by placing it above the headline. I did this because I feel it is an effective way into getting the audience to read the interview. To try and get the audience to read the interview, I also made the stand first into a pull quote. By doing this, I created a narrative enigma for the audience as they don't know who said it. I wrote the headline in sans serif font because I think it has more of an impact on the audience and it is a convention that Q uses. I used the convention of a drop cap because it's eye-catching and it makes the page look a little bit quirky, and the yellow and black colours add to this. I used the convention of positioning the body text in columns because it creates a simple, sophisticated layout that is pleasing to the eye. Q and Rolling Stone use the convention of alley space between the columns. I use this convention because it breaks up the text and it makes it seem less busy. I filled the whole right-hand side page with an image of the interviewee. The mise-en-scène clearly shows that he is from the indie genre, with the contrast of the innocent-looking boy playing his guitar against a graffiti wall. The image is a medium-long shot, and again I repeated the direct address. The image is captioned by a small white box at the top, with a sentence informing the audience about the image. This is the typical convention used by Rolling Stone and Q, and I feel it is useful in giving the audience some context about the image. I used the convention of having a footer on both pages to navigate the audience further through the magazine and to the website. Repeating the page number is the standard fixed feature of all magazines, but repeating the name of the magazine and website address is an effective way into reminding the audience of the magazine. In the body text, I wrote the questions and speakers in bold and the answers in normal font. I took this convention from Q because I think it's a useful way to clearly show the audience what the questions are in case they don't want to read the whole interview. At the end of the body text, I put a jumper consisting of 2 yellow arrows. I did this to indicate to the audience that the interview continues to the next page. It's also a good subtle way to involve the house style a little bit more.